skate away on. Grelf morning, everybody. Your host, as always, Gerbert the Grelf here. And, happy to bring you into a new day. It's currently 10:21 EST, Enchanted Stump Time. And, we're back to audio, baby. Now, the Grelf morning I did yesterday with Vibio was very popular. You know, a lot of people liked it. A lot of people watched it. A lot of people enjoyed it. But if I know one thing, it's this. Don't give the people what they want. Okay? You know, as an entertainer, as a person, that's my advice to all you creators out there. Don't give the people what they want. They want you to do Grelf morning video so they can see what you look like and stuff. Don't do it. You know, you gotta surprise people. You gotta give them something they didn't know that they wanted. And that's what I'm doing today. You don't know you just only want to listen to the audio. Yet. But you'll learn. Maybe I don't have anyone listening right now. Maybe I don't have anyone in the room. Because it's audio and not Vibio, and Vibio's way more popular than audio when it comes to Twitter, and probably is boosted by the algorithm on Twitter. But, you know, that don't matter. It's a beautiful morning on Hedera. And I've got some beautiful people out there, not in this Twitter space because I'm alone right now. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. And by a lot, I mean not a lot. Have you noticed that ever since we got a big old Poompa on H bar, everybody's kind of shut up? Which, you know, that's not the worst case scenario. It's not too bad, honestly. We could have done with a little of that, but, you know, it's been quiet. It's been quiet, you know. Meme Job came out. Everybody was hyped. Things are starting to get a little quieter in regards to that. Things are a little quieter on Hedera. You don't have as many people screaming, which is nice. But, you know, it's been a little quieter, you know. Oh, sorry, I jumped the gun there. This is the section of Grelf Morning where we do our simultaneous sip, or as I like to call it, simultaneous slurp. So I'd like everybody out there, whether you're listening live or listening later, to grab your favorite beverage, your favorite drinkity drink, and join me in a simultaneous slurp. Okay, you ready? All right, 3, 2. So we do 3, 2, 1, go. We don't do 3, 2, 1. I know some people say it's less efficient, but I think everybody's waiting for the go. You can tell people, oh, we're doing 3, 2, 1, but they'll still be waiting for the go. So we do 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So get ready for everybody. Grab your beverage. Get a drink. Could be water. Could be coffee. I've got some acorn coffee right now. But I want everybody to grab your little beverage. We're going to do a simultaneous slurp together, okay? All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Ah, that's good coffee. That's good coffee. So welcome to Grelf Morning, everybody. It's a beautiful morning. I'm still bald. Don't worry about it. I'm still bald, baby. We'll always be bald. You know, sometimes I see people put images of me with hair, and yeah, I think you can all agree it just don't look right. It just don't look right, if you ask me. I was born to be bald, baby, and bald is beautiful. Which, maybe I should change the title of this. Make that our theme. Yeah. Ball. I almost spelled balls. That's not what I want to do. Bald is beautiful. There we go. Bald is beautiful, baby. Bald men run the world. I don't know if you've looked around at all the people that run H-Bar. I mean, Lehman's got a full head of hair, but that's it, pretty much. We got a bunch of bald boys on Hedera, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So what's been going on? Not a lot. Meme job happened. Everybody's like, yeah, cool. People are starting to slow down. People are, folks on Hedera don't really like holding other tokens besides H-Bar, I've found, in general. Maybe like a few days they'll hold, at most a week. So we're seeing that. There's always, after a hype phase, there's always a initial sell-off. So I think some people are getting a little sad about it. Aw, shucks. It's over. But if I could give any advice to the upcoming creators out there, don't be a little baby. Don't be a little crybaby. If your token goes to the doo-doo land, if it just flatlines, that's not the end. That's the beginning. I mean, Grelf was like pretty much dead for the first 6 months of its life. And look at me now, omitted from every list of top market cap on Twitter. Sorry, that was a little salty. But just because I ain't on meme job just doesn't mean I ain't here, baby. Give me a break. Oh, we're only talking about the meme job tokens. I mean, we ain't got that many tokens. You don't really need to filter it just for meme job. Give me a break. We got like 4 meme coins off meme job at this point. Like, you can throw them in. Give me a break, guys. Come on. You can't let people forget I'm still the big number 2. That sounds good, right? Everybody wants to be a big old number 2. That's me, baby. I own that. But it's been fun on Hedera. It's been calm, Outside of, hey, we got a new thing launching. It's been pretty calm. Haven't heard a whole lot. I mean, we got Charles is going to be the head of a THF. We're going to say that now, friends. We're not going to say H-Barf anymore, because it's not technically accurate. Just kidding. I know all of you guys are going to still say H-Barf. It's okay. I won't tell anyone, all right? We're going to say THF now. It's the Hedera Foundation. Now, what do we think? Do we think Charles is going to, change everything in the whole thingy? I hope so. I hope he just throws money everywhere. If I was the head of a foundation, I would just throw money everywhere. Someone's like, hey, I'm going to just do nothing. I'd be like, boom, there's 1,000. Someone's like, hey, I might do something. Boom, there's 1,000. It's going to be great if he does that. Because the thing is, a lot of times they're doing a lot of filtering, and then they're like, boom. Oh, wait, that didn't work at all. All right, let's wait 6 months. We'll give some money to somebody. Boom. Oh, that didn't work at all. My advice, have a little bit of scratch money. If something hits the bare minimum requirements, try it out. Try it out, Considering the amount H-Bar has poomped, they got a massive war chest at this point. Throw $500 to some rando. What's it gonna do? Number one, it'll make that rando happy, and he'll tell his friends how happy he is about being in the Hedera community. And number two, maybe it works out, because our success rate already with all the filtering ain't great. I think you guys can can back me up on this, give me a thumbs up emoji. If you agree with that, just give me a thumbs up emoji. Come on. Come on. Where are the thumbs up sats? Give me a break. Sometimes, there we go. Sometimes there's a bit of a lag. That's what I like to see. I like to see a big old thumb posted in the upwards trajectory. Hey, I saw a downwards thumb. You flip that boy around. There we go. That's what I like to see. Yeah, and so I think we can all agree that, even with all the filtering, the weighting and stuff, the success rate ain't been that good, which is normal for crypto. That's normal. I've got a friend who's not me, who has a job in crypto now. He started as the head of some stupid, made-up crypto coin thing. Now he's got a job in a legitimate thingy. And he tells me all the time that he loves having meetings with new people because they talk to him for 5 seconds and they breathe a sigh of relief because they're like, oh, this guy's not going to scam me. I mean, it's tough out there. Like, the people you have to meet, a lot of them are not trustworthy. It's tough. To be fair, it is tough to vet people in crypto because, everybody be lying. Not a lion. They just be lying. Because, you even have legitimate projects be lying. I mean, because it pays to mislead people in crypto. That's essentially how it works, right? When you have speculation, right? You want people to speculate positively about your project. So it definitely pays, and you are incentivized directly to mislead people. Unfortunately, that's the industry we're in. So I understand that the HBAR Foundation, the Hedera Foundation, the bright, spanking new, no previous issues Hedera Foundation has a tough job vetting people. But that's part of why I think that there should be a tiny little fund where you just throw little bits of money out. You got a lot of it. It's hard to vet people anyway. If they hit some basic requirements, send them $1,000. Who cares? I remember my same friend, who's not me, when they started in this community of ours in ye old days of 2021. I mean, that's like 80 years ago in crypto time. When they started, they had a little podcast that was covering developers building on Hedera, personalities on Hedera, just an interview podcast. And he asked at that time the HBAR Foundation for $5,000. That's a lot of money. $5,000 to upgrade his setup, get a new microphone, get some sound isolation for his room. I think he wanted some lights, have a little more professional production. So about $5,000 to cover all that, kind of make a little home studio, and also to pay for a Zoom subscription for people. Just the basic stuff to make the Hedera podcast better. Now, at that time, there were 2 Hedera podcasts. That one and the HBAR Bull, and the HBAR Bull was already being employed by the HBAR Foundation. So if you were, 2021 on a budding network, if you were the HBAR Foundation and you had, $1 billion, $1 billion, and one of the only content creators, podcast makers for the entire network asked you for $5,000, what would you do? Would you say, I wipe my butt with $5,000 every morning? Maybe I just give it to the little guy. Or there's just another option. Or would you lead the little guy along for an entire year and make it seem like you were going to give him $5,000 so he kept making content and then not give it to him? What would you do? Well, I'll give you 3 guesses on what they chose. There's only 2 options, so you might be able to get this one, but it was the second one. It was the second one. And I mean, he's not the only person that happened to. I know of at least 3 people that exact same thing happened to. They asked for a pittance. They asked for a teeny tiny amount of monies compared to if you hold $1 billion. And even if you hold $1 million, a teeny tiny amount of money. And they let him along. Let him along. I don't know why. The biggest complaint I heard for a while about the now Hedera Foundation was just send me a no. Just email me 2 letters, N-O, so I can move on with my life. Don't give me this corpo marketing speak like, oh, well, if we find this new, investment integration pipeline, we will possibly consider your application insignificantado for our new incorporation. Like, don't send me that. Just say no. And I'll, it's not like we bothered people, so I would send him he would send him another email every 2 months. But yeah, that was a big problem early on. And do you know what happened to that little podcast? Can you guess? He stopped making it. Wow, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Honestly, if they just said no, maybe it would have been fine. But the leading on, the hope of something at the end of the tunnel, he's like, what am I doing this for again? And then for a while, we just had one. We had one H-Bar podcast with the H-Bar Bull, and soon we're not going to have that. So I think there's a lot that could be improved upon. I think there's a lot with the Hedera Foundation that needs work. I think they are listening. I think I'm hopeful. I'm always hopeful, especially when it comes to something regarding H-Bar, which I invested in H-Bar. I hold a lot of H-Bar. So sometimes, now this is a secret between you and me, okay? Sometimes I'm positive about H-Bar only because I hold a lot of H-Bar. That's a little secret, okay? Do not tell that to anyone. That's called bias. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm biased toward H-Bar. Okay? Yeah. Just take that little secret, wrap that baby up, put a little bow on it, and you slide that in your back pocket, okay, buddy? You can keep it. You can keep it. But don't read it out loud to anybody. And don't bring it to the poetry reading with you, okay? Okay. So yeah, I try to be positive about H-Bar even when things are low. I still need to get that clip from when I was on Brandon D's podcast, rest in peace, where we were at 4 or 5 cents, and he asked me what do you have to say to people who want to sell their H-Bar? And I said, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Why would you sell when it's at its lowest, dummy? And I need to find that clip because that's beautiful. I'm looking out for you, babies. Don't sell your bags when they're teeny tiny. You should want to make money. This is something that a lot of crypto influencers miss, You should want to make money. Now, I know that might be a little revolutionary. I know that might be hard to hear for some of you. But believe it or not, we all are part of this community to make money. Yeah, I know that might be hard to hear. Even the people who say that they're here for the tech, they're in it for the tech exclusively. They're lying. They're lying. Because if you're just in it for the tech, There's no reason to throw $10,000 at a speculative asset, right? Because you could use that $10,000 for a new computer, or maybe next year you can buy a sandwich with it. You know, that's how much they're going to cost. So we got a few more people in here. So I'd like to once again bring us together on this wonderful Grelf morning for a simultaneous slurp. So I want everybody to grab a beverage, whether it's water, whether it's coffee, whether it's tea, whether it's like just milk, whether it's one of those weird milks that ain't come from a cow. So I don't really know how it classifies as milk, because milk is a specific thing. You know, it comes from an animal's teats. Maybe not a word you wanted to hear this morning, but there it is. Anyway, grab a beverage. We're going to do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. And all of us together, whether you're listening live or listening later, are going to do a simultaneous slurp. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, that's good coffee. I hope your slurp was as rewarding as mine was. That was a rewarding slurp. I don't know about you, but I love that slurp. Now, Hadera's a special place. What does that mean? Well, we have a lot of bald men at the top of our organization, so that makes us special. But what else? We have, and this is not an exaggeration, and this is not biased, I've been around. We have an extremely vibrant community. And what's funny is our community in the best, I mean this in the best way. Our community is like a weird little growth on Hadera. Like we're on the back of Hadera's neck. So it's kind of hard for them to even see us. They did not need, or really, I think, want necessarily a community like us. They were very focused on being an enterprise chain. They pretty much only cared about enterprise. And if you were around for the early years, that was pretty obvious. That was pretty obvious that they thought of that little growth, that community on the back of their neck, as kind of an annoyance. Yeah, you can cover it with your shirt so nobody's going to see it. But like maybe it'll kind of peek out. But nobody's looking at the back of your neck. So it's not that big of a deal. You have that growth there, and you'd have to go to like a few different doctor's appointments to get it removed. And sometimes you go to the doctor and you're like, hey, I got this growth on the back of my neck. And they're like, leave it alone. And you're like, well, is it hurting me? And they're like, well, does it hurt? Does it hurt when I touch it and stuff? And you're like, I don't know, kind of a little bit. And they're like, it's fine. And then they don't want to remove the growth. I guess I got on a little aside there for my personal life. But our community is like a weird little growth on the back of Hadera's neck. And I think they spent the first few years trying to ignore it. They're focusing on main things, you know, they're focusing on enterprise. But strangely enough, life finds a way, baby. That little growth grew and grew and grew. I mean, we've been up to some crazy stuff these past few years. And with the lack of attention from the network, I mean, not a lot of boosting from the people in charge. I mean, sometimes they'd show up to a Hello Future Buzz stream. Lehman and Mance would pop in and be like, hey, little growths. Thanks for being a little growth on the back of our neck. Ha, see you next year. That's about all we'd get. Even so, even with everything stacked against us, for some reason, we have one of the most vibrant communities, especially smaller crypto communities, I've ever come into contact with. And I've come into contact with a few. We went through our depressed phase. I mean, if you were here a few months ago, you know what I'm talking about. We went through our depressed phase. We're like, what's the point of it? What are we going to do? And then we were like, hey, like, you know, let's retail pays the bills. Let's Let's get everybody excited. I think, the universe tends to pick things to happen that are the funniest, in my opinion. I think it's funny that everybody rallied around retail pays the bills. And then the thing that pumped H bar, in my opinion, I don't know. I'm an idiot. The thing that pumped H bar, I do not think was retail. I think it was insider institutional investors who caught wind of some bigwig meeting throwing a lot of money into H bar. I don't think it was retail because the pump happened and then news started, right? It was the tail wagging the dog, right? So I think it's funny that, and me too, I also pushed the retail pays the bills narrative. Want to know why? There's a little secret. Do not tell anyone this, okay? This is between you and me. I pushed the retail pays the bills narrative because everybody was completely depressed about everything and I wanted them to be a little happier. That's it. That's the entire reason. That's the reason I say almost anything, is because I want people to be more positive. Because here's another secret. If everybody on the interwebs is really happy about H bar, it makes other people want to buy H bar. And if you're invested in H bar, buddy, then you'll make more money if people are happy about H bar. Little secret for you. Do not tell anyone about this. Do not tell anyone about that, okay? Keep your lips sealed on that. It's almost as if my function is not to be an arbiter of truth because I'm a weird bald guy that lives in a stump house. It's almost like my function is to help the Hedera community survive and thrive, baby. That's what I've been doing these past 2 years. Jeez, I've just been trying to keep you guys off the rickety chair holding the noose. Because a lot of you peeps were just ready to give up. And it's like, well, do you still hold the H bar? Well, yeah. Why don't you sell it, then give up? Because then it doesn't really matter. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Well, then I don't know if your convictions really match your words there, buddy. If you think it's over, why are you still here yapping about it? Huh? Why over here yapping about it into mine big floppy ears? Sell your H bar, move on. It's always been that simple. Now, this, of course, does not take into account legitimate criticism. I'm talking about whining. Legitimate criticism and constructive criticism, always appreciated, always useful. But if you're just whining, sell your H bar and leave. And I'm not even saying that in a mean way. Crypto is big. If you think the only financial opportunity is H bar, you're dumb. That makes no sense. Sorry. There's a bajillion ways you can make money in crypto. There's a bajillion opportunities. Stuff that doesn't make, everybody's like, oh, well, H bar makes a lot of sense, so it has to go up. That's not how life works. A lot of dumb stuff you can throw money into and also make sense. So if you hate the Hedera community, if you hate H bar, you hate the leadership, why are you here, buddy? I don't get it. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your energy. So I don't get it. However, I will say a lot of the whining has gone down. That's because H bar pumped. I hope to the Lord above it does not dump. Because then all the whining will come back. Well, I don't think that things are really going to change and blah, 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 blah. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic. But we are in a bit of a lull right now. And I mean Lull, not LOL. All right, you Zoomers. I guess that's older than Zoomers, actually. LOL is kind of eternal at this point, huh? A lot of people thought it was cringe back in like 2010. Oh, no, I don't say that. I say Ruffle MELO. I don't say LOL anymore. I say Ruffle MELO. But LOL's still around, baby. I think Max Walker Williams made a really funny post where he said, I will never work with anybody that I talk to online that says LOL. And that made me crack up. That made me crack up because, you know, it's always funny when you got people who are internet personalities who vehemently refuse to take any part of internet culture. It's funny to me. Because it's a losing battle, baby. You'll say, I will never say LOL. I will never make a rafflecopter. But at some point, you're going to slip up, dude. And I'm going to be there with a screeny shot. And I'm going to show everybody, look at this fraud. He posted 3 letters to indicate that he is laughing out loud. Get wrecked. Haven't heard a lot from Max Walker Williams recently. Fun guy, interesting guy. A lot of people don't like him, but a lot of people don't like literally anyone on our network that talks. So I don't hold that against him. I like interesting guys. Do you guys remember that Saucer Swap thing where he was like gonna like bust Saucer Swap? You remember that? It was gonna be an expose on Saucer Swap. I've noticed a funny. I've noticed if you're in the know about stuff, it's really easy to see when like influencer people are literally, their information network is literally just like some random guy DMs them and they believe them immediately. Whatever information this random guy who DMs them, they believe whatever they say immediately. Like in 1 second, they're like, there we go. That John guy does the same thing. Some random guy DMs him something. And he's like, the information network has come together. Thank you for this. I'm going to act upon it immediately. Guys, if someone randomly DMs you, don't take everything at face value. I don't know how many times I got to warn about this. Don't do that. Like, I know it's easy and you can go on some random internet crusade like after and it's fun, but don't do that. It slowly erodes your image. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. You know, a contradiction with me is I love when there's Hedera drama. I love when there's stupid drama on our dumb network. I love watching it. You know, me and the gals, we get together, we come over, you know, we get our popcorn, you know, we get in our jammies, and we love watching the drama. So we love spilling that tea. But I don't, you might notice I don't get involved. I don't, number one reason is because I'm a Grelf. You know, I don't really need to get involved in human matters. The amount of people that give me replies as if I'm like just a normal person and not a weirdo Grelf that lives in the woods somewhere would surprise you. Would surprise you. The amount of things I see being like, is this guy serious? How about this, guys? Come on. Like, no, I'm not. No. It was a joke. You'd think they would look at my PFP and know that it's not serious. Or you think they would look at my name and know that it's not serious. But I guess they're a bunch of goobers. To the people requesting, the reason I haven't approved you is not because I hate you. It's because Grelf Morning's kind of a monologue type thing, where I just kind of ramble for fun. And since we got a good crowd, I'm gonna keep rambling, baby, and drinking my coffee. So we got a weird community. our little growth on the back of a hare's neck. But recently they've started to celebrate that growth. And that's a pun. You see that? The best way to get someone to laugh at your jokes is to explain them. I found, see, growth. It's like a nasty little pustule, right? But also the word is also growth, like growing. See my joke there? That's called a poon. That's called a poon. Yeah. Anyway, they've recently celebrated our little growth. They put a little mascara on it, put a little lipstick on their little growth on the back of their neck. They've been loving us. We will immediately turn on them at some point, but we've been loving each other lately. The growth and the neck have been best pals lately, which is nice to see until we inevitably send a jolt of pain through their spinal cord, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta get this removed." So things have definitely improved. I think our little growth is really funny. And I think part of the reason we're such a vibrant community, even though we're so small, is because we are not necessarily a divided community, but we are full of very different people. There's a lot of diversity in the types of people that are on Hedera. You have the eternal bag holders. You have the people who've got their bag of H-bar. They do nothing with it. They look at it, and they type their opinions on the internet. You got them. You got people who do some things with it. They'll some random project, they'll say the word utility 80 times, and they'll say, "Okay, yeah, I'll put some H-bar into that," and they'll lose all that money. And then they'll hate us forever. You got the memers, got the memer people throwing money all over the place, putting money into DeFi, holding for a day or maybe 5 hours, taking it back out. So I guess we're all really H-bar bag holders at the end of the day, huh? But we got a lot of different types of people. Some extremely reasonable people, some extremely unreasonable people, some funny people, some boring people. We got a lot of different types. It's not Solana. If you ever go to a Solana Twitter space, they're just screaming. They're literally screaming the entire time. They just scream the same 5 sentences at each other over and over again. We're not like that. Try going to a non-Hedera Twitter space and let's know what it's like. I will say one problem with a lot of our Twitter spaces is we got you'll have the host, and then you'll have some random guy who comes on who he takes 80 years to ask his question, but his question is really just him rambling. As a fellow rambler, I can't really judge him too hard. It's just make your rambling a little more interesting, buddy. I don't want to hear about your laundry. I'm sorry. Or they'll have a really, really weird, annoying voice. Luckily, I can't relate to that, But I really like our community. It's strange. It's different. There's some arguing that goes on, but I think part of that's important. I think there should be a little bit of conflict within a community as it's trying to find its identity. You don't want it to be homogenous, right? You don't want everybody to have the same opinion. We did go through early on our toxic positivity stage where everybody was only saying nice things forever, which I like people saying nice things. But if it's so obviously no one's opinion and they're just saying nice things, the same nice things, it gets boring really fast, right? So you need a little bit of conflict. And we went through our toxic negativity phase as well, where everybody was just wailing and crying in their crib with their little diaper on, saying, "Someone change this diaper," which, again, if I was a little baby in a crib with a full diaper, you bet your bippy I'd be crying and saying, "Change this thing. Change my diaper." So I understand that too. But if everybody's crying like a little baby in a crib with a full diaper, it's not a fun place to be around. It's kind of a stinky place to be around. So I like that we're moving on from that. And we have we've learned a lot. We're not super toxic positive. We're not super toxic negative. Now we're just toxic. That's a better way to be, I think. That's a better way to be. The best of both worlds, really. I think we reached the 11th hour, as it were. It's 11 a.m. EST, Enchanted Stump time. I think I've said most of what I wanted to say, and maybe a dash extra. This has been another Grelf morning, but we will end it. We will end it with a simultaneous slurp. So I'd like everybody in the audience, once again, to grab your favorite beverage, be it water, be it coffee, be it tea, be it some sludge, just some weird green, radioactive, bioluminescent sludge. And I'd like you to pick that drinkity drink up. And I'm going to do a countdown, 3, 2, 1, go, and then we slurp together as a clan, as my fellow Hadarikans. That's what I'm going to start saying, because I never liked H Barbarians. Between you and me, I always thought it was kind of lame. So I'm going to start saying, my fellow Hadarikans. I like that better. All right. Time for the simultaneous slurp. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, baby, that was a big one. Excuse me. Well, I'd like to thank y'all for joining me. Hopefully going to be doing these regularly. I did a video one last time, but with the video one, I don't know. I'm not smart. I'm a dumb guy, right? I'm an idiot. When I have the video thing up, I just end up staring at myself the whole time. Like, what is that? I can barely talk or focus on anything, or I can barely even ramble. Because the whole time I'm just like, is that me? Is that what I look like? And I don't understand why anybody would want to watch the video version over the audio version. Because all it is, you're just looking at me. I don't have any other effects. You're just looking at my face talking at you. Who wants to look at that? I went on for an hour last time. And the view count kept going up. What? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I like doing the audio ones. They're easier to start, easier to ramble. I can drink coffee during them, which I like. I can mute my mic really quickly and like cough and sneeze and like burp, like that. It's really nice, just the audio, right? So I'll try to do a mix. Maybe I'll do more video. Maybe I'll do more audio. Whatever. But babies, thanks for tuning in. I love y'all. Love Hadara. I've loved being here for the past 2 years, and let's at least make it to 5, right? 5 years, baby. Let's do it. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful morning. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. This has been Grelf Morning.